All right, welcome everyone to the weekly coaching call. My name is Omar Pinto, and today we're going to just kick it off with Joanna. So, Joanna, why don't you tell us a little bit about how we can help you?
Okay. I had something go on this morning, and I was interested to see how you would handle it.
Okay.
It's regarding my dad. Just a short on my dad is that he wasn't ever the best father.
Mhm.
He still can be a jerk at times. He's got his narcissistic ways, but I have forgiven him and left it alone. But I see him. I spend time with him because he is my dad. He's the only dad I got. And he got a phone call from his aunt and his uncle that lived like 4.5 hours from where we live. And they talked on the phone, and he talked to them, and they said they wanted to see him. They're old and they want to see him before they're gone. They're 90 and 94.
Wow.
And he has been bringing it up to me every time I talk to him that, he really liked to get down there to see him. He wants to see them before they're gone. I work 2 jobs, and I'm also taking this class with you. And I just went on vacation week before last, and I told him I don't know that I can do anything. My plate is full. But as I thought about it, I maneuvered some things around, and I decided that I would do this for him because it was important. So I called him this morning and told him, how about, we go and I'll take you, and you can see your aunt and your uncle. And, the only thing is I can only go for one night. We go and stay a night, come back the next day. And I thought he'd be thrilled about it, but then all I get out of him was, well, that's not long enough for me.
What was he expecting?
I don't know. I told him, I said, this isn't a vacation. This isn't for a good time. This is just to make it a point that you get to see your aunt and uncle. Their days, they're in their 90s, and they could be any day now. And you told me how badly you want to see them. I'm giving you that opportunity. Well, I don't want to go just for one night.
All right. So let me wrap my head around this for a moment. Okay. So your dad wants to go see your aunt. He wants to see his aunt and uncle.
Right.
And he asked for you to take him, or did he ask to borrow money, or what was the ask?
No, he didn't really ask. He just said they called him and that he would love to see them. I offered because, in all honesty, I want him to see them as bad as he wants to see them. I think it's important. They're very special to him. And his aunt told him, I'd like to see you before I'm gone. And every time I see my dad or talk to him, he mentions it. So I know he wants to. And he's mentioned maybe getting on a bus. I don't trust that. That would be like sending my child, on a bus somewhere. And so to make it happen, I maneuvered some things and said, we can do this. And then one day wasn't enough for him. And it upset me because I feel like he's retired. He doesn't do anything but sit and watch TV all day. And I told him that. I said, I'm the one moving things around. I'm the one that's adding more to my plate. But all you have to do is get in the car and go. But one day's not good enough.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you this. Okay. So you made the offer, and he says, no, it's not enough. Correct?
Right.
And so I guess my big question to you is, what is it about him saying, I guess for all intents and purposes, he's saying no. Okay. So what is it about him not accepting that generous offer from you that is upsetting you?
Well, because it's been like it's always been for him. If it's not his way, it's not good enough. And
Mhm.
even though the circumstances as they are, I'm working 2 jobs, I'm taking a class, I have a husband, I have dogs, and I'm willing to maneuver all that around to do this for him. But because it's not the way he wants it,
Mhm.
it's not good enough.
Mhm.
And consider the fact that he wasn't the greatest dad in the world growing up. So as my mom and my brothers tell me all the time, I don't know why you even try to give him the time of day. He's always been like that. Why do you even
Okay.
bother? So I feel like if I offer it there for him, he should be grateful and maybe accepting.
Mhm.
Am
Mhm.
I wrong to
Mhm.
feel that way?
It's not about being right or wrong, Joanna. It's really about, what's the intentions, what's the motivation, and then ultimately what's the underlying feelings. Like right now you made an offer that's not good enough. And instead of being like, oh, okay, well, fair enough, and then walk away, right? There's an emotional entanglement that's preventing you from just looking at this at face value. Like, hey, would you like a glass of water? No, no, thanks. I'm good. No, thank you. Right. It's like, wow. I mean, like, I pay a lot of money for this water bill. You know what I mean? Like, I can't understand why he wouldn't want to take this water from me. Okay. So it's not about him. Okay. This is not about him. This is about Joanna. So what's going on with Joanna that is causing so much, I would call it emotional distress? Because there's something inside you going on. It's like, why wouldn't he take this? I have to move 2 jobs around. I have 2 jobs. I have to move things around. Why can't he just accept it? And so really it's not about whether he accepts it or not. It's about what's the emotional connection or entanglement I have with my father.
Mhm. Yeah, you're right. Even my husband and I were talking about it at lunch, and even he said, he goes, if once he'd have told me no, and he said, I'd have hung up and said, okay, well, I offered, I tried, I'm done. But for some
Yes.
reason, Joanna can't.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. The best way to do this is to identify the feelings. So I'm going to walk you through this. Ready?
Okay.
And so I want you to think about the buildup. Okay, it's like I'm talking to my dad. He wants to go see. He's telling me about how his aunt really wants to see him. Right? I'm thinking, oh, you know what? What can I do? How can I help? Right? Oh, I know. Let me call him and offer to take him there. Let me move some things around. Right? This should make him happy. Okay. So I'm setting myself up. I'm, getting my expectations, like, oh, this is going to be a road trip that I'm going to take with my dad. And, when's the last time we've done this? And when's the next time we're going to be able to do this? This is going to be so exciting. Hey, Dad, guess what? I've decided I'm going to drive you to go see your aunt. But, we got to do it in one day. Right. And then he says, yeah, that's not long enough.
Yeah.
So now tell me the feelings that showed up for you in that moment.
I just felt like for someone that, well, I guess it's because he's always been that way. You can try to help him and please him and do as much as you can for him, but he's not grateful.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And
Right.
I felt like, okay, I'm doing all of this, I'm doing it for you, and you don't seem to care.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to ask you again. I'm going to ask you again. What are the feelings as you express that? My father, he's not grateful. He doesn't appreciate the things that we do for him, that I do for him. So now let's go back to Joanna and try and identify the feelings associated with that. I feel what?
I guess it would be rejected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Give me some other feelings.
He also made me feel like I was doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was wrong
Mm-hmm.
of me to even think that he'd be okay with one day. That it was wrong of me to come up with this all of a sudden and say, let's do this. Because he kept bringing up, well, we need more time. But what he doesn't realize is I don't have a lot of time. And so when I make the time, we got to take advantage of it,
So I was doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say that I'm doing something wrong, what feeling comes up?
Ashamed, abandoned,
Mm-hmm. Shame,
rejected.
abandoned, rejected. Okay. Disappointed.
Disappointed, yes.
Okay. So let me ask you this, Joanna. How many times has your dad made you feel rejected, shame, abandoned, disappointed?
All my life.
Hmm.
That's been him all his life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious. What would lead you to believe that this time would be different?
I honestly thought it would be different because I thought I was going to do something for him that would make him happy, that he would be joyful about, that he'd say, really, you want to take me? Yeah, let's go. And he did.
Okay. So let's just say, let's just for the sake of argument, let's just say that it didn't go the way it did, and that when you did call, you did make the offer, he said, oh, Joanna, oh, what a wonderful offer. Thank you so much. I would love to take that trip with you. How would that feel?
I would have been happy. I would have felt like what I was trying to do would just make him happy and give him what he wants, that he would be grateful. I would have felt that he was grateful. But instead, I felt he was ungrateful.
Now, in the back of your mind, when you made that offer to him, did you truly believe that he was going to be grateful?
No.
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 Okay, so what we have here is an unrealistic expectation.
Yeah.
Okay, so whenever I create an unrealistic expectation, I automatically set myself up for a fall.
Yeah.
Okay, for all of these, every time I put myself out there, right, I'm just setting myself up to feel that rejection, that shame, that abandonment, that disappointment. But I do it anyway. So the real question is, this has happened before, and chances are it's going to happen again, but I still try. For what reason?
Well, because he doesn't have anybody else but me. I'm really the only one that I make sure that he has everything he needs, and I can't do everything. So when I'm busy, I get my daughter to take him to the grocery store. Um, Whenever he's sick, I take off of work. I'm there for him. If he calls and tells me something's wrong, I go to him and I try to get him through it. He needed to get an ID. I took him, got him an ID. He
Mhm.
needs to find a different place to live. I put him on a waiting list for an apartment. And I'm doing all of this regardless of the fact that he didn't treat us very well when we were children. He didn't treat my mom well at all. And we had to see it. And I kind of feel like, you know what, guy, you're all I got. I'm all you've got. And yet you can still continue to be the jerk that you've always been.
Mm-hmm. 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 So again, he's all alone. You're the only one he has, correct?
Yeah, well, the only one that gives him any time, he has all of us, but I'm the only one that gives him any time.
Why do you think that is, Joanna?
Because I've gone through what I've gone through with my drinking, and
Mm.
I have turned things around for myself and said, I'm not going to hold grudges. I'm
Mhm.
not going to remember all the negative. I'm going to put that aside, and we don't live there anymore. So let's start from here and try to be better to each.
Uh-oh. She's frozen.
But yet I feel like I'm making changes, but he's not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So could it be a possibility? Could it be a possibility that the only reason that you're the only one that's left is because everyone else is tired of feeling rejected, ashamed, abandoned, and disappointed by your father?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with that 100%.
Okay. So this is one of those moments where I like to bring a little bit more humor into the fold.
Mhm.
And so have you ever watched the Peanuts? You
Yes.
know, Charlie Brown?
Mhm.
Did you ever see that part of the Peanuts where Charlie Brown is going to kick the football and Lucy holds the football for Charlie Brown? Do you
Mhm.
remember that?
Mhm.
And has did Charlie Brown, was he ever able to kick the football?
No.
Mm-mm. So I want you to imagine, because they would show this consistently throughout in the Peanuts, where they would show Charlie Brown cruising, and then there's Lucy with the football, and it would be like, "Hey, Charlie Brown, I got the football. Come kick the football." And Charlie Brown would say, "No, no, no. I know what you're going to do. You're going to pull that football out from under me. No, I promise. This time it's going to be different. And this time you're going to kick it all the way down the field." And all of a sudden, what does Charlie Brown do? He gets hope.
Mhm.
Oh, maybe it is going to be different this time. Maybe I am going to be able to kick the football. And he starts running towards that football at 100 miles an hour. And what happens?
So what do you do with that? I mean, what am I just, would it be the right thing to just quit trying?
That's not for me to decide for you, Joanna.
Right.
My job is to help you try to understand what's happening here. Okay. This is kind of help you navigate through these feelings that you're currently going through. Cause it's like, what should I do? But first I want to understand what's happening. So number one, what's happening is that I'm constantly setting myself up like Lucy in the football. And I'm thinking to myself, this time I'm going to call my dad and I'm going to offer him a trip, to go see his aunt and uncle. And this time he's going to be grateful. And this time he's going to be appreciative. And this time, right, I'm going to be the hero, right? And finally, I'm going to make a difference. And he pulls the football out from under you.
Mm-hmm.
So really, it's not about whether you should or shouldn't reach out to your father, or should and shouldn't be there for him. It's really about, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? Like, what is your motivation, truly your motivation for keeping this relationship going?
I know what that is. What it is that I feel sorry for him.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for him that nobody goes to see him.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody gives him the time of day. Nobody cares whether he has groceries or has doctor's appointments or whatever needs to be done. Nobody cares. And even though he wasn't the best father in the world, I do love him. He is my dad.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel sorry for him, and I hate to see him live that way. So I do everything I can to be there for him, even if it's just for a 15-minute visit. I hate going to his house. It's not clean, and he smokes a lot, and every time I go over there, I smell of cigarettes. But I go anyway, because there's times he tells me I sit here all alone and I don't find myself saying a word, and I'll say something out loud just to hear my voice, because I haven't said anything in days. So I've made it a point to try to go over there as often as I possibly can, even though I don't like to. And I'm doing things because I want him to live out the last of his life better than all of his life has been. I can't make him, though, but I'm trying.
So this is not for him then.
Omar. It's for me, isn't it?
Yeah. But Joanna, here's the only question is that okay?
I don't know. I could say yes, it's okay, because at least I'll be content with what I've done and what I'm doing.
Yes.
But then I could say, no, it's not okay, because when is this ever going to end? When am I going to quit letting him beat me down like this?
As soon as you decide, Joanna. As soon as you decide. As soon as it's your choice. And here's how you decide, okay? So one is this awareness. So the only thing that might help to you is to create as much awareness as I possibly can to what's going on. Okay, there's a part of you that is so there's a 6-year-old version of Joanna in there that's so desperate for this father that she never had. Okay, because we all have it. We all have this idealized version of our parent, of our mother and our father, right? And as we grow up and as we get older, we see other versions of mothers and fathers out there, and we can't help but go, man, I wish my father was more like that. I wish my mother would have been more like that. I maybe, just maybe, I did something wrong. Maybe if I do this, maybe if I say that, maybe if I become this, then maybe, just maybe they'll love me. Maybe they'll see me. Maybe they'll acknowledge me. And so the idea here, the what needs to heal is just this idea, this vision that we have, or that you have, about your father, right? This kind of like this hope that maybe one day I'm going to pick up the phone and it's going to be different this time. Right? So my job is only to help you manage your expectations, not to change what you're doing, not to change him, right? It's just about helping you manage those expectations so you don't show up with this giant sense of maybe this time it's going to be different, because every time I show up like that, I put myself on top of this 3-story building that I fall off of every single time. I just set myself up for the fall. I set myself up for the fall. I set myself up for the fall. So at least if we can manage the expectations and go, you know what? I'm not doing this for him. And I'm not doing this because I'm expecting him to change. Because even though I would love for him to change, I would love to him be the father that I always dreamed of, I recognize that that's unrealistic. So I'm going to have to do this for me, because this is the right thing to do for me. Me being there for him is about me. If him not dying alone is for me. Me doing everything that I can to maintain this relationship is for me, so that I don't have any regrets. So I don't beat myself up when he's gone and I say, I should have called him more. I should have been there more. Right? So this is 100% not about him changing, helping him change, or hoping he'll change. This is about you owning the fact that I know what I'm walking into, and this is not for him. This is for me.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, because before I called him this morning to ask him, I was talking to my mom, and of course my mom, she tries real hard not to be ugly about him, but she can't help it, and I don't blame her. And she sarcastically said to me, well, the way you talk about your dad, it sounds like he's really changed. And I said to her, no, he hasn't changed. Have you ever thought that it's maybe me that has changed? So see, I know that. But yet I fall into that. I allow myself to keep falling into that.
So with this new awareness, moving forward, what could you do differently?
The only thing I think I could do differently is just make sure that he's okay and just continue to visit him, but not offer to go the extra mile to do things for him. If it's not necessary, then don't bother.
Very good. And what else could you do? That's super important, but what else?
I don't know.
I'm going to try and pull it out of you. Okay. So I want you to think about Lucy and the football. Okay. So on top of, not going the extra mile and just doing, having limits on what you do and how you show up for your dad, there's one more thing that you can do for you. Well, what could that be, maybe?
Accept the fact that he is who he is and he's the way he is, and that's not going to change.
How does that feel when you say that?
Sad.
Yeah, I know. Joanna, what I want you to do right now, this is going to be your exercise for you. Okay. I want you to spend some time feeling that sadness. Oh, that there's a part of you that needs to grieve, that needs to feel that sadness, to go through that, like there's a 6-year-old version of yourself that you need to say, let's cry this out. Let's grieve this. We had these expectations. We've had this hope all our lives for this father that was never there. And we keep hoping that one day he's going to show up, and he hasn't. And it hurts. It hurts. And so this is a part of the, it's no different than if he was gone, right? Because this almost, it's hope, really. Like, it's almost like I have to grieve this hope,
Mm-hmm.
because managing my expectations means that I'm not going to get what I want. Right. And so I invite you to just spend a little bit of time. You could write a letter, you could write a letter to your dad that you're never going to send. Right. You could write a letter to the dad that you never had.
Mm-hmm.
Dad, where were you? Where's the dad that I always hoped would show up? Where's the dad at, like when where were you all those years? And then you could also write a letter to your current dad and just go, why couldn't you be the dad that I always hoped that you could be? Right. And just try and heal through acceptance. Right. And then through that, also the letting go process that comes along with grief. Right. Because when somebody passes, we have to let them go.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so there is this idealized version of your father that you keep waiting for him to show up, and he's never going to be there. He's never going to show up. And I can attest to that, because my mother's 80 years old and I am 50 years old. And I spent many, many years waiting for a mother to show up that did not belong to me.
Mm-hmm.
She was just never going to be the mother I always hoped that one day she would be. Right. And I had to grieve that, I had to grieve that. So as I say all that, what else is coming up for you? Anything?
No.
You good?
I'm good.
Good work today. Little hand for Joanne. I didn't think we were going to go that deep. That was heavy.
Yeah, it was. And Omar, I was going to come to this meeting anyway, because I told you I wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
but this happened this morning. So I called Ted, and Ted and I said, Ted, we've talked about practicing coaching together.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I got something really good that I'm going to throw at you, and let's see what you can do. Let's see what we can do with this. And so I talked to Ted and we were kind of stuck. So we were really curious as to how you would handle it. And so I told Ted, I said, I'm going to be in that meeting this evening, and I'm going to ask to talk to Omar, and I'm going to throw this at him so that you and I can learn and see how he would handle it, because we were at a loss this afternoon. This morning, we weren't too sure. Especially
this was a tough one, Joanna. So I applaud you guys for going there. Yeah. But this one's not easy.
Yeah.
So good for you guys for taking a stab at it. You will not forget this. Right? You guys took a shot at it this morning, and now you and Ted are both here right now. So you can integrate. Here's what it is. This information now belongs to you. It belongs to you. And you can now use this, whenever you need it, for yourself and for your clients or for your friends or for whoever, right? This belongs to you now.
Well, thank you.
You are welcome. All right. Great job. Great job. So we have Julia and we have Alex. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello. So as you guys can see a little bit about what we do here. So do either of you guys have anything that you could lose a little help with, a little coaching with?
No, I've been, it's been very easy so far, about 40 days, and I'm just not worried, but just aware that there could be minefields in the future and how I'll deal with them. That's basically it. I've quit before for about 3 years, and now it's been 40 days, never had any physical problems. It's been very easy, and I still have what I call longings, not cravings, but I'm just focusing on my brain, because I just understand now that what alcohol can do to your brain. And I just want to get older with grandkids and just have clear memories, different perspective. I've certainly had enough beer in my life. Didn't get cheated. So just trying something new. And I know
Well,
I've
good.
been out with, drinking with people, and I didn't drink, and drinking seltzer water, but it's just very easy so far. And I know people may not want to hear that, but I've just got to be wary of some traps in the future. And I don't know what they'll be, but so that's where I am. So I saw there was a meeting. I thought I'd check in.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, welcome. It's every Wednesday, same time. And, as far as, keeping it easy, right? Keep showing up to the calls, listening, and you'll get stronger. It gets easier and easier.
That lady, I think it was Joanna, she was talking about her father. I'm having a problem with my brother. He's just got a bad case of dementia he gets belligerent and stuff. So I could identify with what she's saying. I don't want to go over there either, but sometimes you got to do it. But it's hard. He gets belligerent and it's just not easy. So, but that's just another issue. But I could certainly identify with what I think Joanna was her name was saying. It's not fun to go over there.
No. And the important thing is really to try your best to manage your expectations, and also create a timeline like Joanna was doing. She's like, she only goes over there for like 15 minutes, something like that. Too much time, you will literally consume a lot of that toxicity. So limiting your time and being mindful of how much energy you spend while you're there is also important.
Okie doke.
Excellent. All right. Well, welcome, Alex.
Thank you.
So Julia, I saw you on mute too. How can we help?
Oh, I'm just, thanks, Joanna, for sharing. I jumped on a little late, so I didn't hear the very beginning, but I was feeling guilty of, because I have some work I need to get done. I'm like, no, I really want to be in this meeting. And of course I jumped on, and everything you guys were talking about was exactly what I needed to hear. So I am also coming off a weekend of being with my family, and so much of the stuff I've focused on in the last several years in just my own personal journey is I blame myself for everything. I'm constantly just like, I just blame myself for everything. And I had a chat earlier this week with somebody who specializes in the emotion code, and we were just cutting some cords, and it was such a weight off me to realize all the patterns that I learned growing up, and that love that I just never got. And I'm still at 42 years old, like searching for, and the toxicity at my mom and dad's house is so intense. And so I just finally, for the first time, felt a little relief that I can see that the root of any issue I face is just like not having unconditional love. That's all it is. And that, just that constant yearning for, like the way I got love from my family still to this day, which is crazy, is like achievement and approval and image and all the accolades, which, believe me, I have them all. Plaques all over the walls, right? And my parents still will go brag about me to friends and family, and I know they love me, but it's just like there's just no affection and love and no connection. And I am so different from my family, and it's just taken me years and years and years to like figure out and realize how different and unique I am, and like that's okay. I don't have to be like them. So I apologize for being so emotional.
No
But-
apologies needed.
Just thank you so much for sharing about your father, Joanna, because it just really resonated today. And no coincidences. Like I knew my gut kept saying, get on that meeting, get on that meeting. And here I am. I just joined recently.
Yes. So don't worry. I got you. So let me ask you a question. Actually, I want you to finish this statement for me.
Okay.
I blame myself for everything because
I should be stronger and I know what to do. I am intelligent, I'm strong, I've got the ambition, all of the things, and I know better. So, why do I mess up?
Does it feel, based on everything you just said here, like there's a little bit of a contradiction there?
Well, I do have everything except the one main thing, and that's the love, I guess.
Yeah, because it's like, I blame myself for everything because I should be stronger. And I can't imagine you being any stronger than you are right now. Okay. I'm pretty sure you're, like on a scale from 1 to 10, you're like a 12 and strong. Okay. And it's probably because you had absolutely no choice. Strong is the only thing you could be. Okay. Yeah. So it's not about being stronger. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
I know. Hold on one second. I know what to do. Okay. So there's this whole thing. I know what to do. Right. But I blame myself for everything, even though I know what to do. So I'm curious, right? There seems to be a little bit of a contradiction here, right? So, as I say all that, is there anything that's coming up for you?
I don't need more strength and more knowledge and more know-how. What I need is to love myself. And yeah.
Okay, so I need you to take a really deep breath right here. You got so much shit stuck in there. Just take a deep breath in. There you go. Just a deep, deep, deep breath in. Just fill your lungs. There we go. What we need right now, we need a lot of love. We need a lot of compassion. I want you to put your right hand on your heart, put your left hand on your belly. And I want you to just breathe, sweetheart. Just breathe. I got you. Just breathe. Breathe in deep. Hold your heart. I want you to feel as that lung fills your, as that air fills your lungs, it's also filling your heart. And now as you sit in this place, as you hold your heart, you hold your belly, and I want you to just say exactly what you just said. I don't need to be stronger. All those things you just said, I don't need to be what? Go ahead.
I don't need more strength and more knowledge. I need more love. And more love for myself unconditionally.
So I want you to think best you can. The last time or the first time it was not safe for you to be angry?
Oh, I don't really remember the first time. The last time was last weekend at my mom's house. It's,
And what happened?
I don't know if it's so much anger. It's not safe for me to be disappointed or frustrated or to speak my mind
Mm-hmm.
because I want so badly to help my mom, because she's just in such a bad place. And it's been this way for a lot of years. And it breaks my heart. But then when I do nothing about it, I have guilt and worry that one day I'm going to get a call and she's gone. And then I feel guilty for not doing more.
Finish this statement for me. It's not safe to speak up because?
Because a lot of reasons. It's not safe to speak up because they don't want to, they're not ready to hear it. And I know that, so I try to keep my opinions to a minimum.
And who is they?
Family, mostly my mom.
So interesting. Another conflict. So I want so badly to help my mom, yet it's not safe to speak up because of my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And because of my mom, why?
She just gets really defensive and will say things like, you know, you think you know it all, you're Miss, you know, Superwoman, don't come preaching to me kind of thing.
In what ways are you trying to help your mother?
Well, just at a minimum to get out of the house and move a little. And on the maximum end, to give up alcohol completely, although I don't even go there because that's not my business.
Okay, here we go.
I mean, she is so isolated and she literally, like, physically can barely even move now. And she's so mental and anxious, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And
So you're the rescuer.
I'm very active and constantly moving, and you know, I'm sober now, although I think that, and have been for years, and I think she feels the need to hide it from me now, which she does. And so that makes me sad. I know the shame and the loathing, self-loathing that she's going through, because I do it still. I do it in other ways now because I don't drink anymore per se, but I still do it in many ways, and I see myself so much in her, and I think that's why it hurts so bad, because I know how bad she's hurting. And she can't hide anything from me. I read her like a book. I know exactly what's going on, even from 200 miles away.
So you're the rescuer and she's the victim.
Yeah.
And so let me ask you this. When you hit your rock bottom with alcohol, who was the person that finally was able to convince you to stop drinking?
A friend of mine, a childhood friend.
And what did she do to convince you to stop drinking?
It was a guy. I mean, I think I know where this is going. I decided I was.
Of course you do.
I had already decided, but when we had a conversation in the morning after my last bender, he just said exactly the right words, and it was like a full light switch. I was so done. And I mean, I drew that line in the sand and never looked back. And I've not had one issue since. And I'm almost exactly 8 years in 1 week.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well done.
I just looked at the date. I was like, oh, wow, it's coming up September.
Wow.
1st. Yeah. Now, you know, I've had a lot of issues since, for sure. But as far as the alcohol, zero, zilcho, not even. I was so ready at that point. You know, it was a long time coming, but.
So let me ask you this. How long have you been searching for exactly the right words to tell your mother?
Yeah, a long time.
Lucy and the football.
Yeah.
Lucy and the football. You were ready. You were ready. And, you know, here's what happens when we're ready. When we're ready, God sends the right person into our lives. And it's just in that right, perfect moment, because I'm ready. I'm like 99.9% ready to throw in the towel, give up the alcohol. And it's just that 0.1% that, you know, that little tiny sliver that somebody says just the right thing. And you're like, that's it.
Yeah.
Is your mother at 99.9% ready?
No, not even close. But
not even close.
I fear that she'll, you know, she's only 72, but it's like she's 92. And I fear that time is running out for her. And that scares me. But I know that that's not my business. And it's not for me to decide. Like, she's free agent, you know? And it sucks.
It does. It does. And that is perfectly acceptable. Right here, right now, this fucking sucks. And so similar to Joanna, for her, it was more like the sadness. For you, and this is why I asked you about the anger, because I need you to tap into it for a little bit. I need you to just get mad at the alcohol and just get mad and just go, fuck you, alcohol. And I'm so angry and I'm so frustrated because I can't do anything about this. I am smart. I am 8 years sober, right? I have accomplished so many things. I'm so fucking good. at the things that I do, and I can't save my mom. And this fucking sucks. And give yourself, Julie, that is the love, Julia. That is the love that you're seeking out, is this permission to be angry.
Yeah.
To not hold back, to express your frustration, right? To the right people, not to ones that aren't going to listen, not to ones that don't care.
Yeah.
But trauma is not about what happens to you. Trauma is about the inability to express what happened to you.
Yeah.
To have containment, to have the space for you to be here with me right now, so I can tell you, Julia, it's okay. I know where you're at, and I agree with you. This sucks. And I know you desperately want to figure out exactly the right words to say, just like that moment for me. And I'm going to give myself some grace. I'm going to give myself some grace, and I'm going to honor my frustration. I'm going to honor my anger. I'm going to honor everything that I'm going through right now. I'm going to express myself freely because you deserve that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the floor is yours, Julia. What would you like to say right now?
I can tell that I'm like all love and light and positive thinking and gratitude. And it's like, yeah, I'm frustrated with the situation, but that's really, I'm freaking pissed off. And
Yes.
it crushes me because she was such a different human, like not that long ago. And it pisses me off bad.
This sucks, Julia.
It sucks. It sucks admitting that I do have like anger, because I don't see myself as like an angry person or, holding a lot of anger, but clearly it's in there.
Well, okay. So first of all, let's not attach an identity to this. Okay. You don't have to be an angry person to express anger.
Yeah.
Okay. You are Julia, beautiful and strong and smart and seasoned and intelligent and experienced. Okay. That's who you are. And occasionally I feel anger, like right now.
Yeah.
And that's all we need. I just need to be able to pick up the phone or get on a call and say, guys, I am angry. Right. I'm not even going to attach an identity to it. I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling frustrated.
Yeah.
I'm powerless. I feel helpless, and I can't stand it.
Yeah. And that's okay.
And it's better than okay. It's great.
Yeah, like I don't have to feel guilty for feeling angry, because that is like my MO.
Mm-hmm.
like don't be mad about something, do something about it. Like that's how I operate.
Yes. We are unfortunately living in a results-driven world. Everything is about results. Everything is about outcomes. It's about, how do I fix this? How do I fix that? How do I get here? How do I get that? And no one is experiencing the journey. No one's allowing themselves to embrace the process. You're in a process right now. You're in a process of releasing. You're in a process of healing. You're in a process of forgiving yourself, your mother, right? It's all of these things that are happening in your life right now is part of a process that you're in. And so I want to be able to embrace and honor and acknowledge every facet of that process. So I love you.
Thank you.
And I honor you right now, right, for the bravery that you've showed today. Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks to everyone else.
All right. Applause for Julia. Okay. Everybody send her like big love to Julia and Joanna. I put them both through the ringer today. So, I'm proud of you guys for staying in the ring, and fighting for yourselves, standing up for yourselves, right? And showing unconditional love for yourselves. Well done. Does anyone want to say anything before we close up? It's a pretty powerful session today.
Yeah, hey there. Thank you both for sharing and being vulnerable. I really resonated with a lot. And at some point during the meeting, I was like, this is a rescuer episode. uh,
Well done, Samantha.
Sounds like a room full of rescuers, and I can really resonate. But yeah, I just, Joanna, for sure that I really resonated. I did a lot of helping with my grandma when she couldn't take care of herself, and I really had to let go of her being nice about or grateful for me helping out. And I don't know what happened. I just somehow decided to let that go of, and I guess I kind of got under compassion. I grew a little compassion for her, and it must be really hard for a grown ass woman to not be able to take care of herself anymore the way that she wants to, and that other people have to, that she even has to rely on anyone else to do anything. And, and so I just, whenever she got mad, I was just there for her. And I just, I had to let it go and just set for my peace of mind, I'm here to just make her a little bit more comfortable, and she needs to let out whatever she needs to let out. I know it's not personal. And I guess when I even let go of any expectation, right, I adjusted my expectations, and she got nicer. It's weird how that works. I stopped expecting her to be nice. I stopped expecting anything from her. And as a result, man, there were just such great moments between us of, she was experiencing this moment of weakness with her false teeth. She would never let anybody see that. She's probably turning over in her grave that I'm even mentioning it in public. But she was fumbling with them one day, and I walked in on her, and instead of what she probably expected, which was me to be like, oh my God, I grabbed him and I brushed him and I helped her put him back in her mouth. And we didn't say a word, just neither of us did. And she just had a look in her eye, thank you. But she couldn't say it. And that's what came up for me. And just, letting go of those expectations is helpful. And then Julia, for sure, for what came up for me is just that, I'm responsible. Somehow, somewhere along the way, I became responsible for everybody's problems. And overachieving perfectionism, big time. That is me. And learning to let that go is weird and freeing. And and I'm really grateful I get the opportunities to practice that. I worry about my mom. She's living in a trailer right now. She says she's glamping, and I'm like, you're homeless. That's the but I don't I don't burst her bubble either. I let it happen, and I worry. So she told me she got a generator stolen from her, and I'm like, well, I'm glad that's the only thing that got taken from you, and you didn't get hurt, or someone didn't break in and do anything worse. And then she asked if she could stay over at my house for just a night, and I have to say no, because it's not my life. That's just enabling, and it's allowing her to cross boundaries. And And it hurts, and I get angry about having to, as my husband put it, he said, I'm sorry you have to adult your adult. And, it really sucks when we're the ones that have to be the parents, or we're the ones that have to, it's really hard, but I just know that I'm doing the right thing. And surprisingly, again, my mom is like, well, I'm really proud of you that you're holding up your boundary. And, she said, I should do that a little bit more in my life too. And I'm like, just like brain exploding all over the place. Just being that example and not allowing them to break me down. And then again, I had to reverse, right? Having that self-compassion for me is really, really hard. But as I started having a little bit more compassion and understanding for other people, I started allowing myself to have it for myself too. So it's kind of a backdoor way of doing it. But, I'm always willing to forgive and try to be understanding of other people. And recovery, this room particularly has helped me learn to give some of that to myself too. And so with both of you, you really deserve it. You are enough, and you are not responsible for other people's well-being. So thanks for sharing that, and thanks for being here. That's it.
Wow. Mic drop. Oh, solid gold, Samantha. Absolute solid gold. Well done.
Yes.
Oof. I'm going to close with this. I'm going to close with this real fast. That when we heal, when we focus our energy on ourselves, and we focus on our healing and our work and our change, miraculously, just like Samantha mentioned in there, the people around us change. I don't know how to explain it. There's no way to explain it. I just know because I've experienced it, and Samantha's experienced it, and clients that I've worked with, my own clients who have had these same issues. The harder they work on themselves, the more positive they changes they make in their own lives. Miraculously, the people around them start to change. Joanna, did you have something you wanted to say?
Well, I feel like I feel bad trying to be positive and good and do the best thing, not only for my dad, but for everything, because I feel bad, like with the situation with my dad. I feel like I'm being selfish because I expect, I'm doing it for my own goodness. And then I feel selfish because I expect people to appreciate it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. We can pick that one up next Wednesday.
That's a big one, yeah.
That's a whole. That's a whole. That is not. That's a zinger right there. That's a big one, but It is a great topic. Okay, so if you show up next week, we can dive into that one, because it's also a very important topic, because it's all around guilt, survivor's guilt, expectations, right? Inability to love and accept ourselves and appreciate the work that we're doing. So it's a lot. It's a lot all in that one statement. But yes, that certainly needs to heal. That needs to heal. All right, everyone, thank you. We went way over the hour. I appreciate everyone's input. This has been an amazing, amazing call. Julia, Joanna, Samantha, for those gold bricks that you dropped at the end of the call. Thank you so much. I love you all, and we'll see you guys next Wednesday.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.